Hello everyone. Today a quick video about the Analog 4, and what I'm going to do is basically make a loop on this machine and this machine only, because really every Elektron machine is a Groovebox, which is really cool, whether it's an analog polysynth or 4 monosynths as they originally designed it, whether it's an FM synth like the Digitone, a drum sampler like the Digitact, a more advanced sampler like the Octatrack. They are all capable of making a beat with percussion elements as well as melodic elements. So, and this is really nice if you want to hammer out something quick. You can do it on one machine. And of course there's the limitation that there are only 4 synth tracks, but with some smart programming you can get a lot of mileage out of this machine. So let's just start with track 1 with a kick drum. If I double tap track 1, I go to the sound menu here and I can filter and actually select kick drum. Quite a few choices, some exotic ones and some more vanilla sounding ones. Let's go for this nice and dry kick drum. So let's make some techno, adjust the tempo here. Of course, I like things a little bit faster than 120. Solid kick on every first step of the quarter note, 4 to the floor. Okay, so what that means is that we have some steps left here. So I can program in different notes, and of course using sound locks or parameter locks. These can be completely different from the kick drum. So I haven't really gotten into sound locks yet, and that's probably because I just don't work with presets, my own presets that much. I should be saving more cool sounds and having them available. But as I'm, well, still learning this machine and exploring the sound design options, I tend to make a lot of sounds from scratch. Anyway, what if we go for, let's skip this note and just go for these. That'll give the kick a little bit of time to ring out, and we'll just go for these 2 notes, like a galloping sort of sound. So what do we have here? Actually, how does this kick drum work? Let's have a quick look. Oscillator 2, maximum level, 1, lower level, no noise used. So this is not a kick that uses a resonant filter. That's okay, that's good. Instead, it uses the second oscillator, the triangle wave mostly, and then some feedback on the first one. Okay, so what I shall do here is I'll just get rid of the first envelope sound. I'll go to oscillator 2. That's fine, I think. Maybe tune it differently. Second page, it uses the pitch bend, really cool feature that there's a pitch envelope built into the oscillator. I'm just going to reduce that back to 0. The filter then, going to dial that down a little bit. Let's see what this gets us. Okay, so I'll copy this, paste it, paste. Let's see. Yeah, so I think this could be a little bit longer, maybe with a longer attack. And I think also the pitch would be a little bit higher. Yeah. So it's lost the clickiness of the kick. It's a more muted bass rumble sound, which is what I'm after, so that's good. Yeah, that gives us a nice sort of tom-like sound. Unintentional tom sound. Yeah, let's go with this. Second track. Okay, let's make a simple percussive pattern. Well, let's start simple and make it interesting as we go along. I'll show you what I mean. Blank patch, oscillator 1, turn down the oscillator volume and turn up the noise. Let's filter that. Very nice shaping options here. For the amp envelope, let's give it a longer attack time. Go for like a shaker. So I'm really getting into this sort of Paul group style techno. I think Oscar Mulero is brilliant. And artists like him and that sort of subgenre of techno, a lot of the percussion sounds don't have really sharp attacks, and everything sounds a little bit muted and not too mid-rangey. And I'm finding I'm moving more towards that sort of sound. Anyway, what if I go for a very simple 16th note pattern, turn down the volume and then parameter lock the volume. Let's see, this one even lower, this one way higher, because that's going to be our sort of 8th note hi-hat in between, and then this one a bit lower. I'll copy all 4 of them. Paste, paste, paste. Something like that. Okay, some reverb. Again, could do some parameter locking here. Maybe make the, oh, that's the panning. Still getting used to the 10 encoders instead of 8 on the digitact and digitone. Let's make it a little bit higher on this step. Something like that. So 4, 3, 7, 11, and 15. And they're also not identical. Now the final thing that I really like to do with these kinds of shaker-like hi-hat patterns, or also more regular hi-hats, is some slight panning around the middle, just to give it a little bit of movement. Doesn't have to be a lot. Maybe let's keep these in the middle. Just to give it a little bit more movement. Finally, maybe some LFO on the filter as well. Why not? Let's make it a lot slower. So I'm going for LFO 1 here, setting the multiplier to 1. It's already on the frequency of the top filter, the low pass, the ladder filter. Let's see what that sounds like. That's not really doing anything right now. Yeah, it's definitely working. Very subtle. The depth, set it quite low. I'll open up the filter a little bit. Okay, so already now we have 2 tracks going, but it sort of sounds almost like 4, right? Like a kick drum, a separate bass, a shaker pattern, and an 8th note louder shaker, which is part of the same pattern, but it, you know, it sort of sounds like two patterns with a little bit of imagination. Right, so now probably time for some sort of main synth, main attraction. And what I like to do here is when I don't have any specific idea of what kind of sound I want to make, I'm just going to throw the dice. I'm going to randomize. So oscillator, yes. Changes the filter. All the settings change randomly. I'll just keep doing this until I hear something that's interesting. Could be this. Let's try the second oscillator with that. Lots of parameters to mess with. Let's not have that bendy thing here. Maybe this one. Maybe both. Huh. Should have stayed with that previous one. That was sort of interesting, distant sounds. Oh, that's cool. That's really interesting. Why this is noise? It's not coming from the noise oscillator. It's coming from oscillator 2. And then this sort of almost trancey sort of stuttering pattern here. And that's, I think, coming from some pulse width modulation. Yeah. Maybe we can find a speed that sort of sits in between. 72 perhaps. Yeah, and let's have a filter LFO here as well. Actually, let's have two. Let's put the other one here at a different speed on filter 2 frequency. A little bit of depth. Could this be done already? Let's make one 16-step note here. Let's see how that sounds. Is the oscillator 2 sound, that continuous white noise. Let's do something with that. I'll just mute these two and yeah, focus on this sound. Again, this has the pulse width modulation. Let's see. Can do something with that. Not really. What I'll do is I'll parameter lock the volume. Let's try that. I think if you press twice, how does this work? I don't want to make a step, I just want to change the parameter lock. Oh, I don't know how to do that. There's a way of putting in steps. Someone please tell me in the comments. I'll look at the manual after this video, but there's a way I think to put in steps that are tricks that are trickless, that don't have a sound, don't create a sound, but only have the automation. I don't know how to do it. So is it function? Yeah, ha. Okay, so they're yellow. Let's see if this could work. All the even steps are off. Maybe not. Make it a little bit lower. Paste. Copy these. Paste. Something like that. Maybe transpose this 1 octave. Do that by doing this. Stop tracking. Oh. There we go. That was unintentional, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. Okay, let's go with that. And now one more part. So what shall we do for this? More percussion, or maybe yeah, let's try some sort of FM style percussion. So I'm going to be a little bit more intentional here. No more random oscillator sounds. Let's go for the triangle wave here. Let's go for the LFO. Go to the really high range with the tuning fork here. I think that means it is synced to the tempo or to the frequency of the oscillator in a way where there's a relation, there's like a musical relation to it. Something like that. Oscillator 1. You can actually do pitch mode or frequency mode. I think I'm supposed to choose frequency mode. Now we get all these flavors. Oh, no. Right, so let's make it short and snappy. Maybe some delay. Okay, let's go to effects track. Press amp, we get the delay settings. I like ping pong delay. Send it to the reverb. Nice overdrive in the delay. Be careful though, because it does sort of add up to the feedback. So if you have the feedback low but you do a lot of overdrive, you can actually make it infinitely repeating, or a feedback setting of more than 100% basically. Okay. Let's try and play something here. Now I'll engage the metronome by function and holding down track. Count in. It's not making a sound because I'm on the effects track. I need to be on this. Okay, again. Actually wanted to put in this, but this actually sounds better. The E instead of the C. So maybe some overdrive. Okay, there we have it. So usually what I'll do now is record in a little jam with some muting, unmuting, and maybe some editing of the parameters. I'm going to do that now, but I'm not going to show it because I want to keep it sort of manageable. The length of the video, I think I'm already going longer than I was planning, which is typical for me. And also, of course, I forgot to say at the beginning what I'm going to say now, which is check out my free sample pack, Too Many DFAM Kicks. Follow the link in the video description and grab your copy. Yeah, do that, like and subscribe if you like this. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful or at least amusing. In any case, I thank you for watching. And as always, I shall see you on the next one. Bye bye.